southeastern Australia. It is Saturday, the 28th of June, and this is your weather update for New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, and South Australia. There's a lot going on this week, so we're going to go through it day by day, but main highlights is that we have lots of rain coming for regions over multiple days, which will likely lead to flood risk warnings across many of the eastern states. South Australia is not receiving as much of the weather as New South Wales, Vic and Tas are. The first weather system is a trough delivering tropical moisture, and the second is a cold front, meaning that it's going to take down the temperatures. It's also going to increase the wind, but there might be snow on the way for the alpine regions. So let's take a dive. All right, what we're looking at here is rainfall on the left, wind on the right. Let's start on Monday. So Monday, the trough starts to come in and deliver falls moderately, max 15 to 25 mils in the central regions of New South Wales, and it extends into the north of Victoria. Winds, as you can see, are still light, so likely fog then. There is going to be some northerly winds for South Australia. Yeah, nothing crazy. Let's go into Tuesday. You can see that this trough that has, again, connections to tropical moisture, it started to intensify, and it's intensifying over the alpine regions. Possibility of 50 to 75 mils in some localized areas, but more likely you're going to be seeing 25 to 50 mils across most of those. New South Wales, probably more 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 25. South Australia, as you can see, is nice and dry on the Tuesday. Northern Tassie getting that 15 to 25. Okay, so that's the first really trophy system. And then Wednesday, here's where we can start to see the front coming and intensifying. So this is the low pressure system. That's the second one coming across, and the winds are strong across South Australia's coast, and they're more southerly winds, so they're going to start bringing cold temperatures. The winds up into the alpine regions as well, strong, gusting 40 to 63 knots. New South Wales is mostly going to see strong to moderate falls, 25 to 50 mils or 15 to 25. This also extends again into Victoria and Tasmania. That is the second day in the row with moderate to intense rainfalls. So we're starting to increase our flood risk here. Then on Thursday, again, strong rain, especially third day in the row, or fourth day in the row now, I should say, sorry, for Victoria's alpine regions and the north of Tasmania, 25 to 50 mils for both of those regions. And the wind on Thursday is stronger again. All right, so gusts 63 to 90 kilometers in those coastal regions, both on the south and now in the east coast as well. Let's go to Friday, where winds intensify again still, especially in the Tasman and into Tasmania. We're seeing potential gusts between, or over 90 kilometers, I should say. The rainfall, though, is reducing. So most of the southeast of, South Australia, New South Wales, and the eastern side of Victoria are going to be quite dry, maybe some light showers. But again, along those alpine regions, we're having another day of moderate rainfalls. The west coast of Tasmania there as well. On Saturday is when we're going to start to see this high pressure system from Friday move over and settle more into the east coast. So we can see almost no rainfall now on the weekend. Light winds for most of the inland areas. And because we've had lots of moisture, it's going to be probably pretty foggy. But Tasmania, southern parts of Tasmania, gusts over 90 kilometers an hour are possible there as well. Okay, so that's the big story day by day of what's happening. We're now going to go from Tasmania into Victoria and then New South Wales just to locally look at the span of confidence that we have in each of those forecasts. Okay, starting in Sheffield in the north of Tassie, we can see multiple days of 10, 20, 25, 35, 8 mils of rain. So good chance of flood risk being there. and the span of confidence is between 10 and 15 mils every day. I think that's really quite standard with the system that we're seeing ahead. So there's definitely rainfall coming. It's definitely going to be at least moderate. It's just whether the severe dump of rainfall will fall in each particular location. And that's really what the span of confidence is there in Sheffield. There's also fog risk on all of those days, but relatively light winds, which is that fog risk. Spraying conditions poor for the whole week. Let's move up into Falls Creek now. Falls Creek, we've got rainfall 11, 45, 37, 30 mils for the first 4 days, and then rainfall drops and snowfall takes over from Thursday onwards. Snowfall on Friday is reaching down to 1,100 meters, so that might be good news if you're looking out for snow. If you're looking at this confidence range though, for example, let's look at the 45 mils on Tuesday. I want to look at the pro version of this. Okay, all of our models seem relatively confident that there's rainfall coming. Even let's look at this Wednesday. Okay, there's lots of rainfall on the way. So where is this risk or uncertainty coming from? Anywhere between 0 and 59 mils. It's because it could also potentially fall as snow. Now, I'm telling you, I'll put my little meteorology cap hat on and say it is not going to fall as snow. That rainfall is really, really likely. And that's just because the thickness line that we see, you might have heard of it, the 540 thickness line, on Tuesday and into Wednesday, that's down in Tassie. It has not come up. That cold air is not yet in the Alpine regions. So that rainfall estimate is quite likely. All right, finally, we're going to leave in Dubbo. Dubbo is again seeing the moderate rainfalls, nowhere near as severe as we just saw in those more southern areas. But again, multiple days, 13, 10, 18 mils with a reasonable range of confidence, again, just about where it falls. Multiple days of fog, poor spray conditions across the week. Yeah. Let's though look into the weekend when maybe some good news is coming. In terms of spraying conditions are improving on the weekend. The fog risk is still there. Sunday it's improving and wind has backed off. All right, so let's finish up, wrapping up here. The southeast of Australia, you have moderate to severe rainfall coming for multiple days in a row, which is likely to contribute to flood risk. You will likely see fog on most, if not all, days coming up ahead for next week. And South Australia in particular, you are not receiving anywhere near as much weather as these 3 states. So something to be mindful of. Okay, that is the weather for this week. I'll see you next time.